Hey, friends, my people. Welcome to lesson 2.7, explaining climate change. And this video will take you through the lesson components. And yes, explaining climate change. This is going to be kind of a writing heavy uh, assignment today. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to read this message and basically we're being congratulated on all of our work, and they want us to write a clear message um, uh, to people explaining what we know about climate change. So here's your big prompt. What are some important ideas that you would want to share with people who don't know very much about climate change? So I will let you pause this video and then complete that, and then unpause it, and we'll do the modeling tool next. All right, people. Hopefully we have gotten to here. We're working on a modeling tool, and what we're going to do is model how gases affect the energy paths, very similar to what we have been working on previously. Um, so our goal is to show how the path of energy is affected by carbon dioxide, and then in part two here we're going to do the methane. So the first thing we're going to do, click right here. It should open up our modeling tool, and you'll see in the left panel here there's a energy coming into the Earth system. It's being either reflected or emitted back out. But here it's coming across nitrogen dioxide, which we've learned really has no effect. It is not a greenhouse gas. So the energy is able to travel right through that molecule. But we've also learned that that's a little different with both carbon dioxide and methane. So what we need to do here is grab our little energy path, connect it up. Here we go. So friends, that's all you needed to do for that one. You're showing energy entering the system, coming in, hitting the carbon dioxide. The only other thing we need to do now is just show it being redirected or bounced back to Earth. All right. So if you push this hand in button right up here, it'll actually, well, it'll give you this big warning. Oh no! Are you sure? Yes, let's do it. And then it should pop up. Oh, it should pop up right here. I'm getting an error right now. Normally I would just refresh, but you guys get the idea. So now I'm going to go to, I'm going to have to really refresh. And sometimes we got to do this, especially when we're dealing with technology. I wonder if it saved that one that oh look, it did, it's there. So here's the one that I just did. And at the end, you're going to complete this statement. When there was an increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, more energy enters than exits, less energy, or there's no change. Make your selection, which causes the temperatures to increase, decrease, or stay the same. And my hope is, friends, since we've said it about a million times, when we have more energy entering than exiting, and that will increase the temperatures. All right, let's go to our methane modeling tool. We're going to do the same exact thing, but instead of for carbon dioxide, we're going to be doing it with methane eventually. And maybe try again. Close out of my other model. There it is. Just have to be a little patient. Thank you for sticking around. So we're going to do that same thing. So the model on our left, we're going to leave alone. And we basically have these same interactions with methane. So we're going to model kind of that same thing, where it's being redirected back down to the Earth's surface. Once again, you'll push this hand in button and you'll get this big warning. Then you'll go right back out of there and hopefully, oh, I'm going to have to refresh again. But same thing, you're going to see it pop up right here. For part 3, we are going to skip that part and we're going to move on to part 4. So for part 4, this is our big writing assignment. Here's our workbank. We want to use the words atmosphere, carbon dioxide, energy, methane, redirect, surface, and temperature. So I want you to use all of those when you're answering, when you're doing your writing prompt here. So here's our writing prompt. We know that global average temperature on Earth is increasing and the ice is melting. We also know that the amount of carbon dioxide and methane has increased. Why does temperature increase when the amount of carbon dioxide or methane in the Earth system increases? So use this word bank and write a couple sentences here to explain that. Answer that question. Pretend like you're writing this to someone who doesn't know anything about carbon dioxide or methane or climate change as a whole. And then once you're done with that, you have another writing activity. And this one, we're going to focus on just 2 terms, the word trend and fluctuation. And just a reminder, a trend would be what we see here. So we do see ups and downs. Those would be our fluctuations. But our overall trend, if we were to average out all of those fluctuations, we would see a trend of, well, in this case, increasing global temperatures. Here we also see a fluctuation where the temperature for a couple decades actually started to decline. But overall, if we're not looking at the fluctuations and we're looking at the trend, we see an overall temperature increase. So you are going to use those terms, fluctuation and trend, in your explanation. And here is your prompt. This graph shows the average global temperature since around 1880. We know that globally, more and more ice is melting because the average temperature on Earth is increasing. Use the graph to explain why we are sure that the data over this period of time is showing climate change, not just a temporary change in temperature. So really, this is what you're trying to answer. Why are we sure that the data is pointing toward climate change and not necessarily just a temporary change? And just to give you a hint, well, explain what a trend is and explain to me that the trend shows a global increase despite the fact that there are fluctuations over smaller periods of time. All right, friends, when you're done with that writing prompt, push that hand in button. For your homework section, you're going to skip. For your other homework section, you're going to skip. You're officially done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, be nice.